All right, Coach Boom, longtime coordinator of the Garden Valley Falcons youth football program, in the building for the Nah Talk Your Shit podcast.
All right, we're back. Another episode 7. Nah, Talk Your Shit with CEO Dez. Got another special guest in the building. When it comes to coaching the youth, he's pretty much an expert at this point. We're very excited. We got Coach Boom with us. We're gonna jump right in. Go ahead, introduce yourself for the people, man.
All right, everybody. My name is Danny Solomon. Most people know me as Coach Boom. I'm the longtime coordinator for the Garden Valley Falcons youth football program.
All right. And Garden Valley, where is that at?
All right, so Garden Valley is on the southeast side of Cleveland, right in the 79th and Kinsman area.
Okay, so as you heard, he's a longtime coordinator, man. So a lot of you may not know what goes into that. And I'm going to try to pull that out as we get through the episode. How many teams are in the organization?
All right, so typically, we do flag football and 7-on-7 in the spring, and then we roll into tackle football in the summer and the fall. So usually, most years, we'll have 4 flag and 7-on-7 teams in the spring, 5 to 6 tackle football teams in the fall.
Okay, wow. And then tell us about your coaching background. How'd you get into it? What is it, 20?
This will be year 30.
Wow.
This will be year 30, and coincidentally, this is the 30th anniversary of the Garden Valley football program.
Wow.
So what happened was, I graduated high school in 1993. I was living in Garden Valley, and I graduated, and I went to aviation high school, so I was supposed to, So I had an avionics certification, and I was supposed to go right into that field right out of high school. Well, it didn't work out that way, right? Nobody was hiring the 18-year-old kids. None of the airports and hangars were hiring us. So I was kind of like, okay, what I'm gonna do? Because I didn't plan to go to college.
Right.
So coincidentally, that summer, I'm just hanging out down there, and there was a guy that was starting a team down there. And he was walking around looking for coaches. Anybody volunteer? I'm like, well, I'm 18.
Right.
I don't know. I played some football or whatever around the neighborhood and all that. But, he was like, no, we'll teach you everything you need to know. We just need reliable people to coach. And so that they recruited me just like that. So I started coaching. The first year, I mainly recorded games. My brother-in-law, Big Mike, who coaches with me, still coaches with the team today too. He was one of the main coaches, and he always had a video camera. So he always had a video camera. So I used it. It was the big one that sat on your shoulder like this. So that first year, I did everything, whatever they wanted me to do, and mostly it was recording games.
Wow. So that's how you got your start.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're running the whole program.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And let me tell you one quick funny story. So I was an assistant at the second year after that. I was the assistant coach on the midget team at the time, which was I think it was 8 and 9 year olds at the time. Well, I was an assistant coach for 9 years under the guy that was the head coach on that team. Mm-hmm. I was never a head coach until I took over as the coordinator of the program.
Oh, wow.
So it was funny. The guy,
that's a big transition.
Yeah, the guy that was running the program, his sons were going to high school, and they moved to East Cleveland, and they were all going to Shaw, and he wanted to coach his sons in high school. Mm-hmm. And he saw fit to turn the program over to me as an assistant coach over any other head coaches that were there.
Wow.
So mind you,
that's a big responsibility.
Those guys felt a certain way though. So it was a kind of a double-edged sword though, because those guys felt some kind of way that they got passed over for me.
Right.
But he saw something in me that, that lended, to being a leader, and I was the best candidate to take over the program.
So it's kind of your duty to
have
carried it on this long.
I lost those coaches now.
Wow,
So when I took over the next year, I had to recruit and find all new coaches because none of those guys, and I was younger than all of them, of course, and they all felt kind of slighted that the young guy got chosen to take over, so they didn't want to coach under me.
It's about the betterment of the program. It should be.
Yeah, they didn't see the big picture, though, so,
Man. Okay. So next, tell us about your life outside of football, what you do for work, and if there are any correlations to, the mentoring of the youth and what you do, for your main income.
Okay. All right. So career-wise, I am a senior quality assurance analyst. I work for a software development company. So basically my role on the team is to test the software before it goes out to our customers. So the company that I work for, we build software in the automotive original equipment part sales. So basically, if you go to a dealership and they're selling, the dealerships sell parts to repair shops, collision shops, and stuff like that, and the software that they use to find other parts to sell to their customers is what we build.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there any correlation to that and running the program or?
There are a couple, like, so, by me being around, I've been doing this for coming up on 20 years now. So, being a senior level analyst means I am leading projects and coaching other, entry level analysts and things like that. I've done it over the years. So, from that standpoint, there is a correlation. I'm asked to do, lead projects and give speeches and stuff like that, or be out front for the company or whatever. They always, for diversity, stuff like that. Not a very diverse field. I would put it out there. Not a very diverse field. Black, I would say, because they do, a lot of times the way they get around the diversion is they have a lot of, in technology, you got a lot of Indians. So they kind of get around, dealing with a lot of black people by having Indian, a lot of foreign people. So there aren't a lot of black people. So, I do take the opportunity too, in my role in technology, of doing career days at schools. I always do career days.
Gotta create exposure.
Yeah, because I didn't, honestly, I fell into this career. I didn't even know this existed.
Okay.
I happened to be working for Progressive Insurance, and I was an insurance agent. Many years I was, not to pat myself on the back, but I was really good. So I was like at the top of the pay grade because I was getting raised, I was doing well, and I maxed out. I got to the point where I couldn't get no more raises. Okay. But they had a incentive program that was good, and I was making money, on the bonus. They slashed the bonus, like they cut that. So I was like, you know what? I'm tapped out. I need to find something else. And it just so happened that the team, the team that built the software that we use to sell insurance off of, they had some projects and they were short of testers, and they needed some people that knew the application that could test it for some projects. Wow. And I got loaned out to do that, and I never went back. I had a new career.
Wow, it wasn't by accident.
Yeah, sure. It was meant to be.
Wow. Okay. Now getting back to coaching, what would you say is the number one thing you enjoy in your role? You do a lot of mentorship. You've touched the lives of a lot of young men over the last 30 years.
Yeah, man, tell me about it.
So
that is the thing. And I tell people all the time, I'm a mentor that coaches football, right? So that is the number one thing that I get out of this is the mentoring, is the impact on their lives, because, it's the conversations that I have with the kids on the car ride to practice, in between, on the breaks and stuff like that. It took me a while to really understand that it was my calling, right? So I started as a young guy. I didn't know how long I was going to be coaching. I was interested. They caught me at the right time, and I started doing it. Once I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years into it, it really hit me that that I was impacting kids. Like, they really were listening to me. I had their ear, I had their attention, and I had their trust. So, it grew into this.
Wow. Wow. It was a calling. Yeah. It's a calling. Okay. What advice can you give to, maybe a younger person looking to get into coaching or mentorship in general? Because that's a big responsibility not to be taken lightly.
It is, and it's changed. By me being around so long, I can kind of time box these changes in like these 5-year, 10-year buckets in these increments or whatever. I think the biggest advice I would give a young coach is to be a good listener. You know, the kids and to pay attention, because the kids they come with a lot of baggage. A young coach, a kid may come to practice one day and they're pouting, they're agitated, you know, they're confrontational, you know, they want to fight everybody. And a young coach may not recognize that sign as, you know, something's going on with this kid. Because when you look at it, football is fun. No kid is going to come to the field looking to fight or whatever. That's school. They had been in school all day, or whatever going on at home. If they're coming to practice, you know, that's the funnest part of their day.
Right.
And if they show up on edge and they on 10 already, real, agitated, that's kind of a sign something's going on. Maybe I need to pull this kid to the side and talk to him, you know, when I get a chance, because that's kind of like, you know, a lot of young men, they don't know how to express anger. They don't, with this culture, they feel like it's soft to express your feelings and all that. So it comes out that way. It comes out in anger and aggression.
Right.
So, you know, you gotta really be paying attention to the cues and the signs that some of these young men have. And one other thing I would say that I learned over the years is, cannot coach every kid the same way. You know, now when I was coming up, I think my coach coached everybody the same way.
Yeah.
It was my way or not.
When I was playing.
Yeah, right. So it's not a lot of flexibility. Old school football coaches, there wasn't a lot of flexibility with that. So I did learn that, you know, not all kids respond to the same, you know, stimulus, right? Some kids you can yell and cuss at and it motivates them. Other kids are shut all the way down if you cuss at them, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely learned that in my first year.
Yeah.
For sure. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Desmond Stanley, CEO and co-founder of the Incubator LLC. At the Incubator, our mission is to assist small businesses and entrepreneurs grow their brand awareness, increase revenues, and develop internal systems and strategies. Today, I'm excited to talk about our social media management services, website design, small business consulting, and overall digital marketing strategy. Did you know that companies that effectively use digital marketing can increase their revenue by up to 2.8 times more than those who don't? And with the rise of social media and online shopping, it's more important than ever for businesses to have a strong digital presence. But we understand that digital marketing can be overwhelming for small business owners. That's where we come in. Our team of experts can help you navigate the world of social media, design a stunning website, and develop a customized digital marketing strategy that's tailored to your business's unique needs. We work closely with our clients to understand their goals and challenges, and we provide ongoing support to help them achieve success. Whether you need social media management, a new professional website design, small business consulting, or overall digital marketing strategy, the Incubator, we're here to help. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, contact the Incubator today. Let us help you grow your brand awareness, increase revenues, and develop those internal systems and strategies that will help you set up your business for success. Thank you for watching. Okay, we're rounding home. Hopping into the next one. And real quick plug, man. You know, this is my first year coaching Cleveland Renegades. Started Cleveland Renegades, ended up being War 5 United. Linked up with Coach Boom here. And like I said, would have been my first year. His 30th year. I learned a lot. So definitely shout out here for the show for Coach Boom. Teaching me the ropes, man, for sure.
It was my pleasure. I tell people that this year, I want to say the last 3 or 4 years prior to this last year, it was a grind. You know, it was a grind, especially coming off of COVID. We missed a year because of COVID, and coming back off of that, you know, being a coordinator, and I've also always been the head coach on top of being a coordinator. So juggling that, I had 2 teenage kids, it was a lot, a lot to juggle. And having like guys, you guys came onto the staff. Like I've been coaching with the same 2 guys, most of the last 10 years, Coach Don and Coach C, who they were also on our staff here. But it was just us 3. So I always called the plays. Coach C always called the defense. But having just 3 coaches is taxing because all the time by me being a coordinator, I got pulled away sometime. Then it would be just those 2. And then you got work schedules and all that, because it's 100% volunteer. So coaches, they miss practice and all that. But having such a solid staff, bringing you and Coach Tev into our mix or whatever, it was a relief. Like I was able to really like delegate some things and kind of sit back, and then you guys did an excellent job of taking the lead on your respective sides of the ball. I was able to sit back a lot of times and not have to always interject and all that. So that was great, man. It was a great experience.
We running it back too. We'll see y'all next year, Muni.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some of your goals for 2023?
All right. So, football wise, just like to piggyback off what you said, I'm looking forward to running it back. Because we merged our staff and did this kind of halfway through the summer. Like we had like a solid month,
very late,
to get it together. So I'm definitely looking forward. And it's always when you merge some teams together, merge staffs together, there's going to be some clashes. Yeah. There's going to be some rough spots to where you got to groom, that you got to kind of smooth out. I will say it wasn't very many. Like we really kind of meshed though. We didn't bump heads very often, so I'm looking forward to a full year, like coming, full off season, coming into the season. We got a solid coaching staff back intact. We know each other now. We got the team, the whole squad coming back. So definitely looking forward to that. I think we're gonna make some noise this year.
Definitely. I'm excited, super excited. Obviously, being a coordinator, full-time job. 2 full-time jobs, really, the coordinator and then your actual job. What are some productivity hacks? How do you manage your task? We always like to give the audience some tips to be more productive.
Right. Being like, so, I'm old enough to where most people used to use planners and stuff like that. I know a lot of people who still do. It may sound simple, but I put everything into my phone, into my appointments to remind me. Now, I like to say people remember the things that are important to them, that was a priority to you. So a lot of the stuff that's football wise and stuff like that, because that's my baby, I don't forget. But life stuff, right? Because you got to juggle, your home life or whatever. If you got a woman or a lady, you got to get that time in. So stuff like that, I put into my calendar and I put reminders and stuff on there, and I do that. Another thing is you got to learn the really powerful 2-letter word, no.
Yeah.
You cannot take on everything, right? You have to tell some people no. You got to prioritize, your time and what's important to you, and schedule and do those things, and just got to say no sometimes.
Yeah, got to get comfortable with no. That's that was a tough one for me, but I'm getting real comfortable with it now.
Right.
And then final question. What's the biggest lesson you have learned from coaching and mentoring?
Okay, I'm going to give you 2, and I'm going to try to make it quick. So the first one is you have to balance your time, and you have to balance your life. The Coach Boom, the polished, good coordinator, whatever that you see now, it was made in a lot of errors, right? So I was a young father, a young husband, and all that when I took over as the coordinator. And I was awful at time management. I was in Garden Valley all the time, because in my mind, what I was telling myself was, my kids have 2 stable parents, stable home. Some of these kids have 1 parent, and some of them really have no parent, no good parent. So I thought, hey, they need more of my time than my home. I took for granted that, no, my kids did need my time. Right. My wife did need my time. So having your home in order, and then also like money, you got to have all your stuff in order. You got to have your money together, your relationships together, because when you're down there, you're not going to be able to give those kids the time and the attention that they need if in the back of your mind you worried about how I'm going to pay this bill, or I missed date night with my girl. She been on me. Why you always coaching or whatever? Because you really have to manage your relationships and all that when you decide to coach.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the second thing, and this was a tough one for me, mentoring and coaching in the Garden Valley neighborhood, was I had to come to the realization that I couldn't save every kid. And when I tell you this, that I thought I could save every kid, I agonized and stressed when I lost one. And I've lost, my share and everybody else's share of kids over the years. You build a bond with these kids. I built a bond with these kids even when they graduated out of my program. That's kind of where the trouble would start. They age out at 14. There wasn't really a real bridge, a real way for me to pass the baton to somebody when they get to that 15 to 18 range, they go to high school or whatever. And I lost a lot of kids in that range. And so when one of those kids would die or go to prison or something like that, it was just like I always looked at myself like, what can we do more? What could I have done different? What could I have told this kid? And I had to get to the realization like, you did everything you could for these kids. When I tell you I give everything I have to these kids, and sometimes it's just gonna be something that you just don't reach, circumstances out of your control that's gonna take, that's gonna do, take a kid left, So I had to come to the realization and accept that, I did everything I could for every kid, and you're just gonna lose some along the way.
Yeah, that's definitely probably tough
pill to swallow. That was like the toughest lesson or pill that I had to learn to swallow.
Wow. Man. Great episode, man. We definitely appreciate you sitting down with us on Talk Your Shit. And we're all about bringing people on who I feel, should get their flowers, doing good things in the community. So definitely shout out Coach Boom. Where can the people follow you at?
Thanks a lot, man. And I appreciate you having me on. You can follow us primarily on Instagram under Garden Valley Football. I'm also on Instagram under my name, Garden Valley Coach Boom. We working on a website, so I will get that out as soon as I get that together.
Okay, yeah. Wrapping it up, episode 7. Talk Your Shit with CEO Des. Appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that. Share the episode. We out.
All right, peace, people.